What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing part 2 of answering your questions about being an influencer. So I already did part 1 of this on my main channel, which I assume if you're watching my vlog channel, you've probably already seen my main channel. But if you haven't, hi, I'm Kelly Strack. So I have a main channel that's all about beauty, and I did kind of like a get ready with me video where I answered a lot of your questions about being an influencer. So that video was over 45 minutes long. I answered a lot of your questions. I mainly talked about how I got started and the main ways that influencers make money, and also briefly about sponsorships, like how to get them and stuff. But you guys literally asked me thousands of questions, so I didn't even get close to getting through all of the questions. So I figured that I'd do a part 2 on this channel, answering more of your questions about being an influencer, because I've been doing it for quite some time now. I don't even really like the term influencer, I don't know, but that's like what everybody calls us. I just say like YouTuber, but there's people that are influencers, I guess, that don't make, YouTube content and stuff. So whatever you want to call it. So I am going to be answering all y'all's questions today. I'm going to get them pulled up so we can go through this. It also looks like it's going to pour outside any second, so hopefully the lighting stays with us and it doesn't go away. So grab a snack, grab a drink. I have a little seltzer here. I'm obsessed with seltzers recently, because this is probably going to be a long video, because like I said, the other one was 45 minutes long, and then this one is probably going to be pretty long as well. So buckle up and let's get started. Okay, so first question, did you have to have a degree in cosmetology to make it? How did you make it? So no, you definitely don't have to have a degree in cosmetology. This is definitely more geared towards if you want to start a beauty channel, which is what my main channel is. No, you definitely don't. I don't have any sort of degree in anything that has to do with makeup. I have literally no schooling. I'm completely self-taught. I taught myself how to do makeup through YouTube. Don't judge by my makeup today, because I did a full face of testing new products and I didn't like some of them. So my makeup might look a little janky and you're like, girl, you're not even good at makeup. But yeah, this was testing a bunch of new stuff that I had never tried. But yeah, you definitely don't need a degree in cosmetology or anything like that. You can completely self-teach yourself. That's the most amazing thing about YouTube, is you can teach yourself how to do so many things, and you don't have to actually like pay to go to school. So it's a win-win. Have you ever been in YouTube drama? Ooh, juicy. No, I really haven't. I say to myself, honestly, that's how I'm like in real life. Like, I don't like drama. I'm not a dramatic person, so I don't like to get involved in stuff like that. I also don't live in LA. I feel like a lot of times the drama, I mean, and this is generalizing because it's not always the case, but a lot of times, since there's a lot of influencers out there, there can be more drama in between influencers, I guess, because they all like know each other personally. But I'm just here by myself in New Jersey. So no, I've never been in YouTube drama. Okay, I made it a little brighter. I think that looks a little better. Okay, how did you learn to edit? So that's another thing. I completely self-taught myself on YouTube how to use iMovie. I still use iMovie for almost all of my videos, which comes for free on a MacBook. If you have a MacBook, it comes on there, so you don't have to pay for it. I know a lot of influencers use Final Cut, which is basically like an upgraded version of iMovie. For my videos, I don't do any types of crazy editing that really warrants using Final Cut. I do have it to use if I need to, but I use iMovie 99% of the time. It can be very intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's so easy. I actually just recently taught Steven how to edit, so he's been editing my videos now, which has been so amazing, because I don't really like editing and I was never really that good at it, but he literally learned like how to do everything in like a week, like less than that, like a day. So definitely just utilize other YouTube videos and show yourself how to do it. It's really not as hard as it may seem at first. How do you take good photos of makeup looks? So this is a big one. Because you can like literally do the most beautiful makeup and it will photograph horribly, or you can do like halfway decent makeup that's not even that good and then it's gonna photograph really well. It has to do with a variety of factors. Number one for sure is daylight. Like, your pictures, I can't even explain to you, will look so much better in the daylight. Like, anytime I take a picture at night, I'm always just like, this looks horrible. And a lot of times I do my makeup more at night, like when we're gonna be going out or something, and then I can never get a good picture of it because there's no daylight. And no matter what studio lighting you have, I don't care if it costs $5,000, like fancy studio lights, it's never gonna be able to replicate daylight. It just gives the most beautiful like cast to your skin. I can't describe it. So most of my pictures on my Instagram are taken in areas of my house that have a lot of natural light. That was like one of the main things when I was looking at houses. Like, I was like, I need a house with natural lighting for pictures, which is like, sounds so dumb, but I mean, when you do this, it is important. So definitely shoot for natural light. Go in front of a big, nice window, or a room that has a lot of windows is ideal. Like, I actually take a lot of my pictures in my kitchen, which is a random place to take selfies, but we have a lot of windows and a lot of light in there. So I'm always in there taking pictures. And then also a really great tool is the portrait mode on the iPhone, especially if you're taking like outfit pictures. So that's a little less selfie geared, but you could definitely do it for selfies too. But if you're taking outfit pictures, like full body pictures, portrait mode is amazing. It's gonna basically just blur the background for you and make it look like your photograph was taken on like a DSLR, like fancy camera, even though it's just on the iPhone. Like the camera on the iPhone has gotten so much better, and I use that for almost all of my Instagram pictures. Like rarely do I post an Instagram picture with any other camera. So, because somebody else was asking what cameras I use. So yeah, I use the Canon 5D Mark IV, I think, for my main YouTube channel. What I'm filming on right now is a Sony a5-100, which is what I use for my vlog channel because it's a smaller camera, or sometimes I'll use my phone. And then for pictures, basically all my phone. Okay. Do you ever go back and watch your old videos and think, wow, I've improved? Yes. Frequently. I go back to watch my old videos and I'm like, why did anyone watch me? Like, I had no idea what I was doing. My makeup was so bad. Yes. Have you ever had any friends try and take advantage of you because of what you do? No, not a friend. Nobody that I'm friends with. Like there's been random acquaintances that I've had like throughout my life that will, you know, that I was never really friends with, that will reach out to me for stuff, which is annoying because it's like, it's one thing if you're my friend, like it's a whole nother story. But then when it's like this random person who never really was your friend, you just knew them, and then they like reach out to you, you know, to promote something that they're doing or something, you know, just because you have a following, that can get a little annoying, which happens a lot. But I've never had a friend take advantage of me or try to. Can you plan for / anticipate how much money you'll make in a year? Is it consistent? So a lot of people ask me this a lot of the times, because even though it's not like a regular job where you get paid a salary, for the most part, like my income definitely does fluctuate month to month, but for the most part, it's always within like a certain range. So it's relatively easy to estimate how much I'm gonna make each month. The amount of money you make on AdSense definitely does fluctuate. That's basically the money that you make through the ad revenue on YouTube. It does fluctuate. Like December is a really, really big time. Ad revenue super high then, because a lot of brands are running ads and stuff because it's like Christmas time and the holidays and people are out buying stuff. So AdSense is always like through the roof in December, and even leading up, like really like starting in like September, like the whole back to school and everything, and then it kind of just leads up to December, and then it tapers off definitely in the first couple months of the year, because brands have like spent their big end of the year budgets, and like January, February are definitely much lower, and a lot of times the summer months are a bit lower as well. So it can fluctuate, but it's not crazy amounts where like one month you're making like $10,000 and another month you're making $0. Like it doesn't fluctuate that much. So it is relatively easy, at least for myself personally, to anticipate. And a lot of times when I get brand deals, they're for months and months ahead, because typically when I get brand deals, I always tell the brand, like, I need to be able to try your product for like a decent amount of time before I'm gonna even consider talking about it. So I typically know months in advance when I'm gonna have a brand deal, so that also helps because I have these set things for months in the future. So yeah, how long did it start taking you to make money? So I did talk about this in the other video, but in case any of you guys didn't see this, I was basically negative on my YouTube channel for probably at least 2 years, if not longer than that, meaning that I was buying, you know, equipment or more makeup to like test and review for you guys, and spending more on that than I was making on YouTube. And that was for quite a while. And I also shared that basically the threshold to be able to be paid out from Google, who owns YouTube, for your AdSense is you had to make up to $100, and that and once you hit $100, they would pay you. And I literally didn't get paid for like at least the first year and a half, like because I didn't even make $100, and that's not per month. It's just like $100 in total. So it's not an overnight thing. You're not going to go from, you know, not having any sort of online presence, like making all this money and doing all this stuff really fast. It's really like a slow build thing. And it definitely takes time and a lot of hard work, honestly. Not to say that you can't do it fast, but that's not really the norm, I wouldn't say. Was it hard making videos at first and no one really watching? No, you know, it really wasn't, because again, when I first started making YouTube videos, I never thought that it would be a job, didn't even know that I could make money doing it, and literally just did it because it was fun for me as a hobby. And it was like that was like my hobby. Like other people run or like play soccer, I was like in my dorm room talking to a camera about makeup, like that was my thing. So even though nobody was really watching and I wasn't making any money or anything, it was just like fun for me. Like I didn't even care if nobody watched, it was just fun. So No, it didn't bother me. I still remember when I got my first subscriber. Her name was like, it was Jennifer with like a bunch of numbers after it. And I literally remember like exactly where I was. I was in the car with my boyfriend then, now husband, Steven, and I was like screaming like, oh my God, someone subscribed to my channel. And yeah, that was my first subscriber. And my videos like didn't get any views at all. Like, but I just really enjoyed it. Like I was passionate about it, and so it didn't really bother me. So this is a good one. Which companies let you request PR and which come to you? So it really can work either way. When I was first starting, I would reach out, not to a lot of brands, but brands that I really, really liked that I used in a lot of my videos and be like, hey, I really like your products. Here's an example of like a couple videos that I've done using your products. Like I would love to be added to your PR list or something like that, because I didn't have enough money to really always be buying new products for my channel. You know, again, because I was like negative in the amount I was spending on money and everything. So you can always reach out to brands. Sometimes they will reach back and say no. Sometimes they won't even answer you. But then sometimes they will be like, oh yeah, we'd love to send you some stuff. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it is free promotion, really, like free. Yeah, they have to give you product, but they're not paying you for the promotion on your channels, and you're spreading the word about their products. You know, even if it's bad, like you're still getting their product out there. Like, so people are like, oh yeah, I think I've heard of that brand. Do you know what I mean? So I would say, like, if there's a brand that you really have your heart set on, send them an email. A lot of brands will reach out though, honestly, for probably 90% of the brands of the PR list that I'm on, like they've reached out to me, but it doesn't mean that you can't reach out to them directly. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I wouldn't be scared to do that. Just be professional and, you know, share your work with them and hope for the best. How did you get so many subscribers? What's the secret? Gosh, there really isn't a secret, you guys. I feel like not when I first started, because back then I didn't really care, but once I started to do it as like a job, like my full-time job, I had about 100,000 subscribers. And that's when I really started to dive in and be like, okay, like how do I get more subscribers? Like I was more like stuck on the number, and I'm like, what are these people that have these million subscribers? Like what did they do? Like what am I not doing? What is like the secret? You know what I mean? And there really isn't one. Like there is not a secret. It honestly is creating quality content consistently. And I know that can be annoying for people to hear, but that's really how you grow a following and how you grow your channel. There was a point on my channel where I was uploading about 3 to 4 videos per week. And what I started to realize is because I was uploading so many videos per week, the quality of my videos wasn't really that good. So even though you'll always hear from people like you have to upload a lot, like upload consistently, which is important, you also have to weigh that out with uploading quality content. So for me, the perfect kind of sweet spot is 2 videos per week, because they're the best possible quality content that I can create. Like I put so much into all of my videos, but I'm also still uploading consistently. So it's not like I'm just throwing a video up every now and then and nobody knows when to look for my video. So it's really finding that balance. Like, yeah, you want to upload consistently, but you need to make sure that it's high quality. So I would say definitely though, you do want to upload at least once per week, twice per week if you can. I think that's like a really, really good place to be, or even 3 times a week if you can juggle that. Aside from though doing that, like creating quality content consistently, another big thing is make sure your thumbnails jump. Like make your thumbnails appealing, because that is what people are gonna look at first. Honestly, even before, at least for myself, before I even read the title, I look at the thumbnail because it's like, you know, a picture. So that's where people's eyes go. So make sure your thumbnail's like really nice. Use bright colors, put pictures of the products that you're using. If you're doing like a makeup tutorial, make sure you put the sharpness up and like the saturation on the picture so that you can really see it. Like it's a clear, good quality photo. That's really, really gonna help. And then after that, secondary would be like the title. Make sure the title is like accurate to what the video is about and also searchable, and then make sure the tags are done well and that you know, really put a lot of thought and effort into your tags. What I like to do when I'm titling my videos is think, okay, like if I was gonna search for this video, like what would I be searching? What do I want people to be searching when they find this video that comes up for them? So if I'm doing like an easy makeup look or something, I'll think like, okay, maybe everyday makeup routine, because that's a big popular like thing that people search for. And then for the tags, I'll be like everyday makeup tutorial, everyday makeup routine, everyday makeup tutorial 2020, easy makeup, quick makeup for work, easy makeup tutorial, like, and just going off of that, if that kind of makes sense, because that is important. That is how people are going to find your video. So you need to make sure people can find the video, and then when they do find it, you need to make sure the thumbnail is appealing enough for them to click on, and then you gotta make sure the video content is good so that they wanna subscribe and come back and watch more of your videos. But there really is no secret to it. That's really it. Like, you know, I know there's like some YouTubers that have gotten like shout outs from big YouTubers and stuff like that. Was never something that helped my channel grow. I never really got shout outs from anybody because I don't know a lot of people. I literally just, you know, again, I live in New Jersey. I don't live in LA or anything like that. I kind of keep to myself and was just able to grow my channel by creating quality, consistent content. So anybody can do it. At how many followers did you actually start making money? So I touched on this in my last video, but for me, when I started to do it full time, I had about 100,000 subscribers. And so I was making enough money to support myself, but it wasn't a ton. Like, I could live, but like I didn't have a lot of extra money, I would say. And at the time I was still living at my parents' house, only for about 6 months, and I was able to move out, but I was kind of saving, like living at their house so that I had some savings and wasn't like just spending everything that I was making. But at about 100,000 subscribers was when I was able to, you know, be able to support myself and pay my bills aside from like a rent or whatever. But then, you know, I was able to do that after I had saved for a little bit. So I would say at about 100,000, it could be less though. Like, that was just for me at that time. Like, you could have 50,000 subscribers and make more than somebody with 500,000 subscribers. Like, there's no easy way to really say it, but for me it was about 100,000 that I could fully live off of the money. Is it nice not to work a 9 to 5 or stressful? So I personally, I'm not a 9 to 5 kind of person. So for me, it's very nice. This works way better for me. I'm much more of a night person. I'm not a morning person at all. So I'll be up still at 2 or 3 in the morning, but don't catch me at 7 a.m. Like, you're not gonna see me up at that time. So this kind of timetable works a lot better for me. With that being said, when you're an influencer, interestingly enough, like, it's not a 9 to 5 because it's kind of like an everyday, all day kind of thing. Your work never really shuts off because your life is your job. But I would say 9 out of 10 influencers would tell you that they don't really feel like they ever work a day in their life, because we do truly love what we do, because we're, you know, lucky enough to do something that we're super passionate about and share our passions with other people. And so it doesn't get, you know, stressful, but that is just something, you know, to note, I guess. How often do you get brand deal requests? Every single day. There's brands asking, you know, to do different deals and stuff, but the, you know, percentage that I take is very, very small. Can you truly live 100% off the money that you make? Like, can it be a full-time job / replace a salary? So yes, this is my full-time job. I don't do anything else. How annoyed do you get with people criticizing every move that you make? It's hard to answer because there's a difference between criticism, or not even criticism, but people being mean, and constructive criticism. Constructive criticism, I don't mind at all, honestly. I always welcome it on my YouTube channel. Like, I'm not a perfect person by any means, so I always welcome constructive criticism. But if somebody's just gonna, you know, be mean for no reason, that's a whole different thing. But I think the longer you do social media, the thicker skin you get. It honestly doesn't bother me. There was questions about that before this, you know, like, how do you handle hate comments is like another question, which, like, it's interesting. I feel like when you first get started doing social media, you're not gonna really get hate comments because nobody really, this is gonna sound bad, but like, nobody really, like, I feel like you don't get hate until people are almost jealous, and that's when people will start to give you hate, where like, if people are like, oh, you know, they don't care about you, they're not gonna like send you hate. So, you know, I didn't get any hate for a really long time because I feel like nobody even cared to send me hate. I don't get a lot of hate now, I really don't. You know, I'll get the occasional comment where someone's like, oh my God, you're ugly, like, you're so annoying, like, I get that. Sorry guys, my camera overheated. I forgot the Sony a5100 does that, so I wouldn't recommend this camera. After you like have been filming for like 25 minutes, it just shuts off because it like overheats. But we were talking about hate comments and how to deal with them, and so yeah, when you first get started, you're not gonna get a ton of hate. It's not until you know, I feel like I didn't really get much hate at all until I grew to be, you know, a bit bigger. And even so, I don't get a ton of hate. But when I do, it's just like, you know, if somebody is like literally on their computer in their own free time watching one of my videos and then commenting being like, oh my God, you're so ugly, like, it doesn't really affect me. Like, I feel like, you know, I would never do that to somebody else, A, because I have better things to do than like type stuff like that on a computer to somebody else, but also I was raised better than that. But yeah, I don't know, it doesn't, I feel like most influencers will tell you the same thing. It's like, you quickly realize that the only people's opinions that really matter is your family, your friends, you know, stuff like that. Like, you can't get upset over every hate comment, or, you know, it's not going to be the right kind of career for you. Like, people are just going to hate you for no reason sometimes, and it just is what it is. And 9 times out of 10, again, it's just something stupid like, oh, you're ugly. It's like, okay, be more original. So you're just gonna have to let it roll off the shoulder and keep it moving. So there's a lot of people asking, how much do you make per video? So this is something that I did want to talk about too, because I feel like people might be under the assumption that, like, I don't know, you make a set amount per video or something, which isn't how it works. So basically with AdSense, which is what Google pays you, who owns YouTube, to run the ads on your video, it really depends how much views the video gets, because that's what AdSense is based off of. So it has nothing to do with your subscribers, everything to do just with the views that you get, but that can also be incredibly skewed. So 9 times out of 10, if the video isn't sponsored, which most of my videos are not sponsored, obviously there's way more non-sponsored than sponsored videos, you know, all you're making from the video as far as money goes is just whatever you make in AdSense. Of course, if you're doing a sponsored video, then you get that sponsored payment on top of it, but there's not like this set amount that you make per video. So with AdSense, again, it varies a lot. I'll pull up my AdSense right now. For a video, and let me just see, because I don't even really know. Because the AdSense gets paid monthly, you don't get paid per video, so I don't ever really look at the videos individually. So we'll just use a video that got, here, this has 101,000 views, which is relatively standard on my main channel, and that made about $1,200 for 100,000 views. So, again, but that really does vary. Like, I'll try and find another video, like, let's see. Yeah, so here is a video that has 125,000 views that made $1,000. So the video with more views made less money. Like, it varies a lot based on the type of ad that gets played before the video, how many people skip the ad, how many people watch the whole ad. Like, there's so much that varies, so there's not an easy way to really pinpoint it, but I would say, you know, if you're getting about 100,000 views, you'll make maybe around about $1,000 on the video. But that really does vary greatly. Like, there are other videos that have about those many views that, like, here's one exactly right here, 110,000 views, and it made $760. So it's really a range, but yeah, so there's not like a set amount that you make per video or anything like that. And most videos, you know, what you're making is just the AdSense unless it's sponsored. What did you have to study in college to become a YouTuber? So nothing. Really, you don't even need any kind of education to be a YouTuber. You know, I'm a big promoter of education. I, you know, went all throughout college. I have my master's degree as well. I don't really use what I went to school for, but I think that it definitely made me into the human being that I am today. So I certainly don't regret it. But you don't need to major in, you know, anything specific. Maybe if you did like communications or media studies or something along those lines, that would be helpful, but you can really do whatever you'd like, or even business, that would probably be super helpful as well. Because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how much there is like behind the scenes of business of doing this. What does your family think about your job? Ooh, tea. So my parents and Steven, my husband, were my biggest supporters with doing this. I think they were my only supporters, because people, when I went all throughout college, all throughout graduate school, graduated from grad school, and then was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. Like, I'm not gonna work in my field that I've just studied all this time and spent all this money getting a degree for. I think everyone thought that I was crazy. And maybe even my parents and Steven a little bit too, but they were 100% fully on board, fully supportive, and we're like, we want you to be happy, we want you to do whatever you want to do, and we support you fully, which was all I really needed, was their support, and I got that. So I think everybody else, friends, you know, extended family, all thought that I was literally crazy, and that, you know, I was never gonna be successful doing it, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, you know, worked out very, very well in the long run, but my whole family now is like super supportive. They understand it. You know, I think back then it was just like people didn't fully understand it either, which I think now, the longer that I've done it, the more people understand my job and what it is that I do. Like, people didn't really see it as a job back then. So everyone is super supportive now, but in the beginning, I think everyone thought I was crazy. which maybe I was, but the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Oh, this is an interesting one. When can you start charging brands instead of just receiving free makeup, and how much? I don't really remember when I started to send brands my rates. I probably didn't do that for way too long, because I'm not a pushy person. I'm really not. I've definitely better, you know, with now I kind of understand like business is business and it is what it is, but I definitely, you know, I mean, I think that's part of the reason why it took me a very long time on YouTube to really make any money, because I wasn't charging brands and stuff, and I was just so grateful to even receive free product, which I still am so grateful to even receive free product, but you know, at the end of the day, that's not what pays your bills. So I think the first sponsorship that I ever got, I want to say I had about 50,000 subscribers, and I believe I was paid $100. That was probably a little low, but I was just so excited they were going to pay me $100. But I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that was the first sponsorship that I got. A lot of times though, when you're first getting started, you might be able to create an affiliate relationship with the brand where they might give you a code to promote their products, and then you will make, you know, a certain percentage off that code. There was other questions about affiliate codes too, like how much do you normally make from them and stuff. Typically, it varies, but typically affiliate codes for the creator, the percentage that we will make on the sale is like anywhere from like 5% on the low end to like maybe 15% on the high end. It varies brand to brand. Even creator to creator can have different relationships with the brand and maybe, you know, get a better rate or whatever, but you know, it's not a super high percentage. Like we're not making like 50%. At least that's not typical, I would say standard. You know, there certainly can be some affiliate codes that are like that. I don't personally have any of them, but yeah, that's kind of like standard. So that might be something you'd be able to negotiate with the brand, like maybe them giving you a code so that your followers can get 10% off or whatever, and then you can get a 10% commission, or something like that might be a way that you could like start into working together. How many influencers do you think sell their PR? I don't know. That I don't understand that. Like, you didn't pay for it. Like, I don't know. You know, when I get stuff that I don't like, I donate it or give it away. I don't sell it because I didn't pay for it. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with selling makeup, I guess, if you bought it and you don't want it. Like, I've never done that either, like sold used makeup, but I know you can do that on some apps and stuff. But selling PR is not, I wouldn't ever suggest doing that, and I would never do it personally. That's not what it's meant for. Do you ever feel influencers copy each other's ideas? Yeah, all the time. Copy is not the right word. It's just like, you know, a lot of times there'll be tag videos or videos that people are interested in seeing, like, and when it comes to makeup, it's like everything has been done. You know what I mean? It's hard to like come up with something that like hasn't been done before. So it's not really copying. It's just like you're putting your own spin on this idea. Like, you know, declutters, for example, like I don't know who the first person to start that was. It was probably like 10 years ago. And now, you know, everybody does them. Or PR hauls, which I think it might've been Tati was like the original person that started to do that. And now like everybody does them. Like, so it's not copying. It's just, you know, creating your own spin on content that people are interested in, which is, you know, important way to be able to actually grow your following is like see, you know, what are people searching, what are people interested in, and then you creating a video based on that. Okay, this is a good one. Is there any of the drama that you wish never happened? Honestly, I would say all of it. Like, I feel like the beauty world has been made out to seem like it's such a drama-filled like community on YouTube, and really it's not. If you really look at it, it tends to be similar people every time, like involved in drama and stuff. And I think a lot of times people do use drama to grow their following, and so for more people to know them, and it works because people get invested in drama and want to research more about it and stuff. So people will create, you know, these big scandals or whatever. That's not me personally. It's just not the kind of person that I am. I don't like drama, and I don't, you know, and do my best to just stay out of it. But like the beauty community really isn't drama filled. You know, I think it's just a small percentage, but that takes up a lot of, you know, what people watch and stuff maybe. So I just wish it could be about the makeup and the fun stuff. You know, that's what I like. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would say that I wish none of the drama happened and it was just about the makeup and beauty and makeup tutorials and, you know, how everything was, you know, when this all began. Ooh, so this is a good one. Do you have a backup plan if YouTube, etc. stops being successful? So yeah, this is something that I think is really important, whether you do social media or you just are in any kind of business where like your income isn't guaranteed, is to, obviously never live above your means, but, you know, really prioritize saving, which you should do in any capacity if you can, but I definitely, saving is very, very important. Every single month I put away a certain amount of money, so I live as though I never even had it, which is, you know, which I think is really important. And I do have a financial advisor that helps to invest money for me, which is another great way to create additional income streams for yourself that, you know, doesn't rely on, you know, whatever you're doing right now. And I definitely want to get more, and I've talked about this before, but my husband and I definitely want to get more into real estate, potentially real estate investing, like getting some investment properties that we could rent out potentially, or maybe doing like a flip or something. I'm a little scared of that, so I don't know. We're gonna have to see, but we're both very interested in real estate, so that's definitely something that I'm still, of course, gonna do YouTube and social media, but something that I do want to get more into. It's a big goal of ours. So how has your life changed since becoming an influencer? PS, your videos are so uplifting. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you think that. And honestly, my life has changed in basically every single way. It's the best decision that I ever made. Like the day that I started my YouTube channel, I truly, like, everything has changed, and just for the better, honestly. So yeah, love it. How do you come up with new content during quarantine? This has been the difficultest time to come up with content, honestly, because it's hard because people are at home. So I know you guys aren't like super interested in these super like full glam going out makeup tutorials. I mean, I think now we're starting to transition slowly back into normal life, so we'll transition more back into that. But like for a while, I was just kind of doing like quick and easy looks. And there's also been a lot of brands like haven't been pushing out a lot of new products. I think we're gonna see a surge of new products coming out from brands like probably in the later summer, because I think a lot of brands pushed like releases on products that were supposed to come out in like March and April and May, just because of everything going on with the virus. So there hasn't even been a ton of new products. So there hasn't been like a million new products to, you know, review and test out for you guys and stuff. So it has been a little bit more difficult, but I've taken this time to do a lot more declutters, which is something that you guys really like, because I have all this time to like, you know, really get my house in shape, organize everything. So it's just kind of about like gearing your content more towards, you know, what's going on. What percentage of your income do you have to set aside for taxes? So this is so important. Oh my gosh, I wish I talked about this earlier in the video, because I feel like half you guys are probably not even watching anymore. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Saving money for taxes is single-handedly probably the most important thing when it comes to being an influencer, and it's something, thankfully, I started very, very small with this and wasn't making a lot of money, so I didn't owe a lot in taxes, because if it was reversed, where it was like now, I would have been screwed. Because basically, you know, prior to being an influencer, I had regular jobs where, you know, you're paid from your organization or wherever you work, and the taxes are already taken out. So you're paid, let's say your actual paycheck is supposed to be $1,000, but they take out $200 or $300, I don't really know how much it is, for taxes. So then you're only ever getting $700. You're never getting that full $1,000, because the organization is already taking out the taxes and everything for you. And a lot of times then, once you go at the end of the year and like file your taxes, you actually get money back. For me, it's opposite, because when you're an influencer, you are getting paid the full amount, and then you need to pay your taxes. So at the end of the year, you will owe money, which thankfully when I first got into this, I didn't owe a lot. So I was like, oh, okay, like I was shocked that I owed money, but my dad was like, I remember him at the time, he still did my taxes, and I remember him being like, nothing is being taken out of this money. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, there aren't any taxes being withheld. Like even with AdSense or YouTube, they don't withhold taxes. So you have to pay taxes on everything. You know, so I only owed, it was minimal amounts of money. So I had it and paid it or whatever. And now I know like that I have to pay taxes obviously on everything that I make. So basically it's going to vary based on how much money you make, as taxes always do. So there's different tax brackets. So, you know, if you make $40,000 versus $100,000, you're probably gonna be at a different tax percentage. So go to the IRS website. They will have the 2020 tax breakdowns. I can even get it up and it'll tell you exactly the percentage that you're gonna owe. Or I mean, it can vary slightly again, because there's different expenses and stuff that can be taken off of it. But so, you know, for example, if you're a single filer and you make between $40,000 and $85,000, you're going to be in the 22% tax bracket. So that means 22% of the money that you make goes towards taxes. So you would need to save 22%, and that's just federal taxes. So that's important to note. That's federal, but then you need to look for your state taxes. State taxes are much lower percentages. But they do still exist in most states, unless you're lucky enough to live in a state that doesn't have state income tax. I know Florida, Tennessee, there's a couple other states that don't have state income tax, so that's really nice. You only have to pay federal. In New Jersey, we have high taxes here, you know, so I have to pay New Jersey state tax as well. So, you know, I know exactly how much I need to be putting away for everything. I also like to put away a little bit extra, so then whatever's left over at the end of the year, I can just put right into savings. So I like to kind of do it that way. So I do put a big chunk of every single dollar that I get away into that separate account for taxes. And then I always have enough money to pay them, because you don't ever want to owe the IRS money. You know, you don't want to mess around with that. So it is something that, you know, you have to take very, very seriously. So I definitely look up your federal tax bracket on the IRS website, and then go to your individual state, find your tax bracket, meaning like your income group, and then find what the percentage is, and that's the percent that you would need to be putting away. Obviously, it's going to vary person to person. And I was just putting away a little bit extra. Again, whatever's left over, you can just put into savings or buy yourself something nice, you know, whatever you want to do. But that is how I do it. And I also pay my taxes quarterly now, which is really nice. And it's a great option if you're an influencer or anybody that works for themselves. So then you're not paying this huge amount at the end of the year. You can pay quarterly, so you pay 4 times per year as the year goes on. So that's what I do. So it's not just this one big amount at one time. And you actually, once you hit a certain income, I don't know exactly what it is, you have to do that or you'll be fined. So yeah, I don't really have a choice. Like, I have to pay quarterly. So yeah, that is basically the tea on taxes. Very, very, very important, and something that I did not know when I first got started. Did you get a lot of views from the start? No, definitely not. Literally was like not even breaking 100 on like my first videos. So no, it definitely did not work like fast like that for me. Are you really friends with other influencers? So yeah, you know, there are influencers who you're like friends with, I guess, online. Not to say that you're not actually friends with them, but some of them like I've never even met, you know, in real life. Like only ever, like we just commented on each other's videos and stuff, and I really enjoy their content and they like mine, like kind of that kind of thing. So I have a lot of influencers who I know from that. As far as like, you know, really good friends, like Juicy Jazz, who I'm sure a lot of you guys know, she lives in Pennsylvania, so she's not too far from me in Jersey. Like, you know, I've hung out with her many times in person. Such a sweet, kind girl. She was at my wedding, as well as Blissful Brie, who I also really love. She lives in New Jersey. The three of us get together a lot. Like, I genuinely, outside of YouTube, outside of everything, like I really enjoy them as people. They're super nice, and yeah, they were both at my wedding. They're like, you know, genuine friends to me. And then of course I have like YouTube friends, which is not that they're not real friends. It's just like, you know, a little different, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have created genuine, real friendships, even outside of just the world of YouTube, like as, you know, real people, I guess. Do you think you could be an influencer and still be taken seriously in a normal job? Yes, absolutely. I was in a normal, like regular 9-to-5, like desk job for a while when I did this as well at the same time. And people thought it was pretty cool, at least to my face. Like, no, it was never an issue. I mean, I think like, obviously I wasn't talking about what I was doing at work. What I was doing at work was like HR sort of stuff. And I never talked about that on my channel, because my channel was all about beauty. I wouldn't want to like, I wouldn't say to cross, like, you know, I guess whatever your like normal job is with this. You could, but then I could see there being more of like a conflict of interest sort of thing. But no, I definitely think that you could still be taken seriously, especially now. I feel like it's just so much easier. More people understand it now. More people see it as a job, understand that YouTubers, like that's a career for people, where back when I was doing it, people were kind of like, oh wait, what do you mean you have a YouTube channel? Like what? It was a little bit less normal, but I think you could definitely still do this and have a different job as well. I did for quite some time, because I wasn't making enough on my YouTube channel to do it full time, you know, so I had to have another job as well. And most people were just really like, thought it was cool and were interested in it. Do you hate when people ask to take pics with you? No, absolutely not. I love taking pics, even if I look ugly, or, you know, a lot of times when I go out in public, like I literally just look crazy. That's like my favorite thing, is to just go out with, you know, some crazy outfit on and no makeup, because that's really the real me most days. And I feel like that's always when subscribers will come up to me, but I don't care. I'll always take a picture with you guys, chat, whatever. So please always say hi if you see me, no matter how crazy I look. Maybe you won't even recognize me. Were you popular in high school? No. Not that doesn't have to necessarily do with being an influencer, but no. I was just kind of normal, I guess. Where does your paycheck come from? YouTube, multiple places, so cool either way. So I definitely touch on this way more in depth in my other video on my main channel, so I can link that here on the screen. But you know, I really went into the different types of revenue streams that you can have from doing social media. So Google owns YouTube, so that is who you actually get a monthly AdSense check from. Mine is like direct deposited or whatever, but you know, your monthly payment would be coming from Google, and that's for the ads on your videos. And then, you know, when you do sponsorship with brands, that comes from all over the place. Sometimes it's from like an ad agency, sometimes it's from the brand directly. You know, same thing with affiliate income, that'll be coming to you from the brand. So there's a lot of different places that the money that you would make per month would be coming from. It wouldn't just be coming from one place. Ooh, this is a good one. What other influencer would you love to meet? No, there's like a lot of influencers that I would like to meet. I have been lucky enough to be able to actually meet a lot of influencers that I would like to meet. Oh, you know, I would love to meet Casey Holmes. I love her. I've watched her videos for such a long time and never met her, so I'd love to meet Casey Holmes. I'd also love to meet Carly Bible because we both live in Jersey, but I've never met her. So I would like to meet Carly Bible, and I'm trying to think who else. I feel like a lot of the other people that I've like wanted to meet, I've been lucky enough to be able to meet already. So what platform pays the most? So this is really interesting and something that I think is important to touch on. So YouTube definitely by far pays the most because the main reason being is like when you upload, like I said before, a video on YouTube that is not sponsored or anything, you're still making money through AdSense, which is through the ads that play on the videos, where like if you upload, you know, a picture on Instagram that's, unless it's sponsored, you're not making money from that. Like Instagram is not paying you to upload that picture, where YouTube, you know, the video does not have to be sponsored, you will still make ad money on it. So you'll definitely make the most money on YouTube. I mean, obviously there's people that have like millions of followers on Instagram and maybe not nearly as many on YouTube, so they might make more money on Instagram just because they have a bigger following there. But overall, you will definitely make the most on YouTube just because you're not relying on like sponsorships and stuff or like brands to sponsor your content, because you're just making money off the ads that play on the videos. And that's really the only social network that does that right now. Okay, and then the last one that I will end on is, what is your daily work schedule like with YouTube? So I guess if we were just to do like an average, like typical day, I would wake up and then normally I will literally lay in bed for probably an hour every single morning going through my email. So that's like the first thing that I do, because I normally wake up with probably at least 100 emails every morning, sometimes more depending on the day and what's going on. So I like to go through all my emails, answer them, respond, like, you know, follow up on anything that I have to follow up, and I do that like right from my phone in my bed. And then I will just like quickly go through my YouTube channel, you know, read any new comments. I'll go to Instagram, check any new comments and stuff, and kind of scroll through quickly. But honestly, I spend most of that time doing emails and stuff, and then I'll go downstairs, have breakfast, and then normally we'll map out the day. So I'm like, okay, like, are we filming today? Are we editing? Like, what are we doing? And figure out where to go from there. Also, I do cardio too, so I'll eat and then I'll do my cardio, and then I will shower and like film and stuff. So that's typically how my days go. And then by the time I'm done filming and everything, it's like already 4 or 5 o'clock. And then sometimes I'll start the editing process immediately. Sometimes after I film, I'll go and take photos because I actually have my makeup and hair and stuff done, which like 9 times out of 10, I don't have it done unless I'm filming. So those are the days when I like to take content and stuff for Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. And then maybe edit, answer comments, get back to emails that have come in throughout the day while I've been you know, filming and stuff, because filming takes a really, really, really long time. I feel like people don't see all that because it's all, you know, edited down to like a 20-minute video, but it could take 3 to 4 hours to film. And like just getting everything together, prepping all the products, setting up everything to film, like that takes a lot of time in and of itself as well. And then a lot of times I'll have to upload, so then that's a whole nother thing. You know, you have to create the thumbnail, you have to come up with the title, the tags, all that sort of stuff, which uploading can take hours also with everything that has to go into doing that. So yeah, you know, a lot of times it's, you know, 9 o'clock at night, I'm still doing stuff, still trying to wrap stuff up, and then, you know, I'll just carry over whatever to the next day. But that is, I guess, a typical day. I guess in quarantine. A lot of time outside of quarantine, I go into New York a lot for whether it be meetings, events, stuff like that. So I spend a lot of days and a lot of time in the car going back and forth to New York. But in quarantine, I haven't been going in there at all. So have been spending obviously most of my time at home. So that's kind of been what a typical day has been like. So yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. Like I said, be sure to watch my first video as well, because I dove into a lot of other stuff in that video too. Thank you guys so much for all your questions, and I will talk to you guys very soon in our next vlog. Bye.